Collins with you. And Kane, what a weekend of semi-final action we have just seen. We'll start with our big story. It came at NG Stadium. Brisbane through to a prelim final for the fourth time in 5 years, following a remarkable comeback.
Yeah, one of the biggest comebacks you'll ever see in a final. 44 points down. They looked nowhere to sort of start the third term. They went on a couple of bursts, but essentially it was the last quarter where they kicked the last 6 goals of the game to book their place into a prelim final against the Cats.
44 points down midway through the third term. They kicked 5 straight goals to end the third quarter. They then kicked the last 6 goals of the game to secure the win. This last quarter was absolutely insane. The way they just put the foot down and the Giants couldn't stop them.
No, they couldn't. The Giants just completely stopped. It was a bit chaotic, really, about the way that they went into their forward line. They had multiple opportunities, and it just really was make it up on the run. Of course, they had some individuals step up. Zorko kicked 2 goals for the game after being beaten badly and having goals conceded against him against Peatling. But yeah, Fletcher's finish here I just thought was enormous for a young player. We'll get to Ashcroft shortly in his influence, but essentially it was this man, Joe Daniher, who took these 2 moments on to kick this goal, and it completely sums up his career. That's what he can do. He can be the match winner from the boundary. We saw some of the bad Joe, which we often do, but these 2 last moments from him, he was a difference. Absolutely clutched to take that mark against a very good opponent and to go back and slot it, kick 4 for the night. He was the difference in the game.
He certainly was. It was a fantastic performance from him, particularly in that final quarter. Just got the better of Sam Taylor. Let's get to our Saturday star now, because when the Lions had their backs to the wall, it was Will Ashcroft, their father-son gun, playing in just his second final, who got them back into it. 17 disposals in the second half alone.
Yeah, it was the back end of the third term when he went in there. So Lockie Neal was well beaten by Bedford. There were some other, particularly their forwards were really down on form. Rayner was nowhere. They didn't get anything out of him. So they had some others. Charlie Cameron was quiet, although he had a couple of moments like that one there. But it was Will Ashcroft, who's been building really nicely. So 27, it's a really good number. He uses it so well. He's composed, seriously tough inside, and Lockie Neal spoke about the fact that he said, just get it to me on the move, because he was feeling it and he was so clean, the best midfielder for the Lions on the ground tonight.
He certainly was. Where do you look back on this if you're the Giants? It's just such a hard one for them to comprehend. So have a look at this. This is the biggest finals comebacks in AFL, VFL history, second biggest of all time. They were 44 points up at the 17-minute mark of the third quarter. Last week, they were 28 points up against the Swans. They were outscored by 57 points in both of their final terms in the 2 finals they played. Just a heartbreaking way for them to go out.
Disaster. They had both of those games so much on their terms. So whether they can sustain that style of game for 4 quarters, clearly they can't, because they had Sydney on toast last week. They completely outplayed Brisbane today. Jesse Hogan looked like he was going to kick 10. He had that pain matchup. They had all that worked out. Their midfield was on top. Their defenders usually are pretty good, although they were beaten late in the last quarter tonight. So nothing but one of the biggest chokes we've ever seen and biggest failures we've ever seen in finals to have the position with the double chance and to go out in straight sets after you've been in those winning positions. As I keep saying, these opportunities not just guaranteed you rock up next year and you're in the same boat. So they're hard to win premierships, and when you're in a position like they have been the last 2 weeks and to not get it done, this one's going to sting for a long time, and it's going to be a tough one mentally to deal with and regroup as this footy club.
They'll have a few regrettable moments, none more so than this moment involving Brent Daniels. So this could have put them 24 points up in the last quarter. A free kick's given to the Giants top of the goal square. He takes advantage, tries to kick it off the ground when he had so much time as it was. Goes through for a behind, advantage is paid. The game changes. The Brisbane kicks the next 5 goals after that to win the game.
Disaster. I mean, and how's he going to sleep for the whole of the off-season knowing that? It wasn't the only poor moment he had either. He had some good moments tonight, as he always does. He's such a good player, but he gave away a couple of 50s as well. One of them was really hot, but that's the one there that was the change in the game and the momentum.
So Brisbane through to a preliminary final where they'll take on Geelong next Saturday evening. That's a twilight game at the MCG. So if the Lions do win through to a grand final, they can fly back home to Brisbane that night before travelling back to the MCG the following week. Let's get to our Amy Clangers now. Who covers Clangers? Amy does a remarkable moment in this Friday night clash where Blake Hardwick kicks the ball